Hello everybody, Chris Wood here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in on this Friday, November 11th, 2022. I hope everybody had a good day and I hope everybody is having a good night. I hope anybody here that celebrated, not necessarily celebrated, but paid respects, I guess it was, for Remembrance Day. I am going to keep this short. I just wanted to come on and say hello to everybody or anybody who may tune in. Once again, I am Chris Wood. Welcome to my channel. And by the way, I do have many videos on, and I hope they are being seen. And if any of them are liked, please like, share, subscribe. Especially share these videos because I am the victim of identity theft. I am the victim of injuring, torturing, skull deforming, brain injuring, brain damage. My skull's been split. My body has been split. My right lung is gone. My right kidney is gone. I no longer feel it. I have no feeling in my head or my face or stimulation in my brain whatsoever. My skull, my head has been deformed to about 50 different shapes and sizes from having what is called remote neural monitoring on me, which is police and military tech that's been in use since the 60s, and not a lot of people are aware of it, and it benefits the ones using it. It is being used criminally by the police here in Napanee. Injuring, torturing, brain damaging victims, getting the victims medically blacklisted through lies to help cover up and prevent help and proof of crimes taking place with OPP Revenge Retaliation victims. Ones guilty who are co-offenders with Lennox and Annex and Ontario Provincial Police, human trafficking, human sex trade slavery trafficking, revenge retaliation murders, identity thefts, i.e. me having my mother stalked and having my mother murdered through Billy Wooldridge, one known as Billy Wooldridge, possibly Billy DELAROSBIL, and Blair Hardy. And by the way, I was out today. I had to actually go into Kingston. You can see the split on my skull where my skull's been split. But I had to go into Kingston today. And how too convenient that I was standing waiting for my ride, and who walks by me? None other than Burt Hustler, one of the guys involved. I get to my ride shows up. I get in, we go around the corner. Who do we see? Isaac, right there, coming by. We get up on Bridge Street to East, and who's right on the corner with Isaac? None other than Blair Hardy, wearing a construction orange vest, construction shirt, whatever. So everybody was out in full force this morning, and everyone used the lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, arrest refusals surrounding hands-on guns, kidnapping 24 hours after asking for help, against what has taken place with me by police and doctors who are criminally negligently co-committing in crimes and cover-ups with them for O.P.P here and their Hells Angels and Bandido bosses, Billy Wooldridge or DELAROSBIL and Blair Hardy. They're human traffickers, human sex trade, slavery traffickers, children to pedophiles, adults to sex offenders. They are used in the remote neural monitoring criminally for invasive illegal surveillance for these sex offenders to use on victims for human trafficking, for human sex trade, slavery, pretty much. Ones that are guilty and co-offenders and are paid, as a matter of fact, through freedom, drugs, and $300 a day, and need to be arrested one way or another. One, last known used name, Billy Wooldridge or DELAROSBIL, 149 Center Street, North Napanee, Ontario. Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, J. Two-Step VANALSTINE, his boyfriend Ray, and their roommate Sam. There is also Isaac, as I mentioned. There's Curtis. There's a woman on Center Street and Thomas side door entrance. She is an obese woman. It is a crack shack, and that's where a lot of them hang out. And they are using this remote neural monitoring on me for not only OPP Revenge, but for my identity theft as well. Billy Wooldridge is seriously fucking psychotic. He's highly delusional, obviously. I have his prisoner tracking on me, plus I have the remote neural monitoring on me to read as him. There is also another guy named Mike. He is homeless. He is approximately 60, 65 years old. He's homeless. He lives in a tent or a trailer around probably the fairgrounds here in Napanee. This is the one called Billy Wooldridge and his O.P.P, Ontario Provincial Police. These assholes are also doing stuff to my animal as well, to my dog. So, if anything happens to me, they are also guilty of my animal as well. These are pictures of me before my identity change and theft. I know it's kind of hard to see. For people that don't think identity thefts can happen. These are all pictures of me while being broadcasted through from remote neural monitoring. And this is how I'm going through my identity theft and changes. This is about framing me. This is about trafficking me. This is about revenge, retaliation on me for speaking of police crimes, the human homeless trafficking, and other crimes taking place here out of the Morning Star mission and the homeless exploitation for monetary gain and other crimes. And as a result, I became a victim. The lies, the injuring, the torturing, the time buying, the cover-ups, the arrest refusals, the medical blacklisting to prevent, help, and proof of what I know has taken place with me and by whom, and I have been saying so for 3 years. And every single one of these people are all guilty of murders. and every single one of them need to be arrested, whether they work for the police here or not. So needs to be arrested. This is Burt Hustler, the one I seen this morning that walked by me. Maggie Falls. She's an undercover and a pill and a dealer. Blair Hardy, my obsessed stalker, serial killer, and the one I seen this morning was Isaac on East Street. Billy Wooldridge, 149 Center Street North, now bald, glasses, goatee. Frequents a bar downtown here, a pub, and a coffee shop. Okay, what the heck? This is Tyler Lake. He needs to be found and arrested for attempted murder as well. With Jay VANALSTINE, who is most likely at Ray Ray's, his boyfriend's on East Street behind Mamma Mia's. These are the drug-fed, money-paid co-offenders and all the asshole pieces of shit who are using remote neuromonitoring on me for OPP Revenge. They are nothing but pawns. They are nothing but a means for OPP Revenge. This way they get their identity theft, they get everything they fucking want, and a murder as well, and freedom and drugs for doing it. Isn't that right, Spencer Mills? Doctors involved, congratulations, Tatiana, for signing my death certificate for OPP Revenge and your girlfriend's revenge, Stacy. How many others have you helped murder? How many other identity thefts have you helped commit and cover up along with Dr. Hadley, along with Joy Hadley, along with Dr. McGregor, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Barton, triage nurses Terry, David, and Tanya, and your fat pellet and security guard buddy, and Lennox and Addington County General Hospital Administration. Medical negligence causing seriously harm, falsely kicking me out, saying I'm there causing trouble. Bullshit. That was to cover up. That was to cover up their crimes 100%, and I will not be proven wrong because they're doctors that need to be in prison for crimes. They need to be arrested and charged and put in prison for criminal medical negligent intent. 3 years of treatment refusals, discrimination, name calling, laughing in my face over being sodomized and then trying to have me committed. Dr. Waldron calling me a retard, calling me crazy, telling me he can't fix that. Dr. Barton, because of lies, stating he will never do anything to help me unless I see a psychiatrist first. And I'd still like to know what the fuck that is based on. And those words alone prove 100% medical negligence against you. Serious medical negligence on your behalf and everybody else's. You've gotten away with too much here in Napanee working for O.P.P for too long. And you think that you're above the law and everything else because the police here involved do as well because they're associated to Blair Hardy and Billy Wooldridge, Bandidos and Hells Angels and bosses. So anyway, once again, I would just like to say I hope everybody is having a good weekend. And I hope everybody is safe and stays that way as well. I just got one request for anybody that sees this. Be a neighbor, be a friend, help another if you can. Always do it without an agenda. Do it because it needs to be done. Make humans for humans once more. Love all, hate none. That is a request I would like. I'm actually just sitting here hanging out with my poor puppy dog, and he's actually going through a lot of stuff as well. He's developing a lump or something on the bridge of his nose, and it's been causing him a lot of breathing problems. My poor dog, at one time, he had a woman that was going crazy, and she flipped out and threw crystal meth in his eyes and burnt around his eyes. The police were phoned, and they wouldn't even show up because it was a cop's sister that did it. So my dog ended up suffering from that. I couldn't even get justice or legal help or nothing for to help him with that for animal abuse. So this is a very seriously dangerous town with a lot of very seriously dangerous people in it, using their badges, positions, credentials, their lies, their false guise of law, their cover-ups, time buying. I've been going through this for 3 years for revenge retaliation, especially after I was shot by something in my right, and it went into my right ear by the ex-O.P.P chief or commander, whoever he is now, O.P.P commissioner. And after that, that is when all my problems started with me medically and everything else, the lies, the cover-ups, the arrest refusals, except for on me to deflect the crimes from or on me from the police and from doctors. And I also want to say congratulations. Because of all of this shit, I now realize that I have an anxiety that I've never previously had. I want to say congratulations for also fucking me up this way. Yeah, I had to go to get needle blood work done today, and I've never had a fear of needles before. And then all of a sudden, I sat down, I was ready to get it done, and I even had somebody with me, and all of a sudden, I went into a serious panic attack, like serious. I freaked out almost. I had to get up and get out of there. And I will admit, I even started crying. Like, I've never, ever had that happen to me before. So, as I'm doing this right now, I have no feeling or stimulation in my head whatsoever. I only feel what feels like air going through me and electricity, like I have an electric halo around my head. And I do have a spot on the back of my head that I've had for 3 years now, ever since I was shot by whatever, and all of this began. And it will not heal up. I even went to the hospital one time, and I asked the doctor to look at it, and her first words out of her mouth was, "How much cocaine are you on?" Okay. My head was also swelled up at the time like a damn mushroom, and nothing was even done about that. Me having to be rushed to the hospital by ambulance, and when I get to the hospital, nothing even being done. "What can we do for you today, Mr. Wood?" To the point of me having to almost crawl out of that damn hospital into a taxi to come home. going in for emergency and then getting phone calls 6 days later to come in. Oh, we were busy. We didn't have time for you. Okay, bullshit. And then in the other times when I was going and I just wasn't being seen, and when I was being seen, I was being treated like a piece of shit. I was being called names and belittled and expected to take it. And I would walk out, and when I was walking out, they were making it look like I was the one that was refusing treatment. And that was not the case in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to be called names and treated like a piece of shit by doctors because of serious, serious lies against me. Especially when it's involving me supposedly being suicidal and a self-harmer, and I am not that in any way, shape, or form. Or drugs or anything else. I do not do them. I'm against them. So that is another bullshit lie. And I'm more than willing to prove it. Thank you. Thank you, enlightened ones. I appreciate it. What's up, boy? Hey? What's up? My place that I live into is haunted as hell. You'll be sitting all the time in the front room and you'll hear knocking in my closet all the time. Always only 3 knocks. And it sounds like it's knocking on the door, but it ends up as coming from my closet. And nobody around in any way, shape, or form. Weird stuff like that. If anything happens to me, back to what's going on, if anything happens to me, Jason VANALSTINE, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Billy Wooldridge, Ontario Provincial Police, Spencer Mills 14716, Staff Sergeants 2019 and 2021 involved with my kidnapping on May 27th, 2021, 24 hours after me asking for help. How too convenient. Under false pretenses, of course, through Shelly Haffner under incompetency. Worried that I was not eating when I eat fine. She was more than welcome to come and see my fridge and cupboards. So that was just an excuse to pretty much shut me up in an attempt so I would not be talking or showing what has been taking place with me and by whom, how, and why. I pray too. I pray too. I myself am a very spiritual person. Very spiritual. Sure, I may curse a lot, but when it comes right down to it, I am very seriously spiritual. Before all of this began, I was fully awake, fully aware. I was conscious in thought. I was conscious in action. Everything. And then now, I'm lucky if half the time I can remember anything. I have to write stuff down because of my brain being injured so bad. And actually fighting to get people that are involved arrested and charged for the crimes that they are involved in. Like I said, I became a victim in all of this because of me speaking of police crimes. So as a result, I became a victim, the human homeless trafficking. and the exploitation for monetary gains that was taking place. I don't go for that. So, and I was also asking for help in the beginning with audio and video recording equipment for myself so I could basically do what I'm doing now. I've tried. Yes, I've tried. And absolutely no responses. My town is well aware of what's taking place. The mayor here herself has stated anybody that's on low incomes, such as a disability or a welfare system person, so to speak, should automatically be watched and be considered as being a high risk criminal and a drug user because of their monetary status. 100% bullshit discrimination in every sense of the word, in every sense of the way. So I don't go for that either. When I hear of people being exploited, I'm going to speak up. Back in late 2019, the one known as Billy Wooldridge and Blair Hardy, they started stalking my mother. They were using, like I said, the remote neuro monitoring on her because of the EMFs and radiation this stuff causes. It caused cancer in my mother. It caused tumors, caused cancer, and it ultimately took her life December 2020. So it's coming on 2 years that they've gotten away with this as well. Excuse me, people. I'm sorry. And it's been a wild ride for 3 years for me, especially when I'm getting this stuff used on me, and my skull has been deformed like about 50 different shapes and sizes. It's been flattened, rounded out, elongated, shortened, widened, blowing up like a balloon. And I've shown all of it. I have pictures or videos here showing it. Even on my welcome page of my channel here, I I show my identity theft and changes of what has taken place with me over the past 3 years. This is how the police are human trafficking. This is how they're framing victims. This is how they are murdering victims. Especially the one that I'm going through with this is a sex offender. He is highly protected. He used to stalk children daily here at the local Tim Hortons for children for the ex-O.P.P chief, the chief of police, or commissioner, commander, whatever he is. And along with doing it, stalking me, he was sometimes going by my house. This guy would go by my house sometimes 12, 14 hours a day. I would step out my door, he'd be right there. I would walk downtown, he was always right there, constantly, because I have illegal prisoner tracking on me as well. This is what the police are doing with their victims. I have no criminal record or history. only with when I was falsely charged by the police and doctors in that attempt to give me the criminal record. And so they could justifiably, I guess, get away with what they're getting away with on me. They've tried everything to discredit me in every way, shape, and form. I've been 100% consistent. Whom, how, and why. I've had my legal rights taken, my medical rights taken, my human rights taken, in an attempt to prevent me from getting help. I would go to the hospital once again. I had a doctor laugh in my face. I was sodomized, and I had a doctor laugh in my face over it. And then I went to another doctor, and that doctor was actually going to try to have me committed for it because of it happening to me, because of who it was done from, and because it was done to me, and me being a 50-year-old man. I'm not going to let them stop me. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. I also have a Facebook page too that shows, or Facebook that shows a lot too, and that is also Enlightened One. That's all. My Facebook is actually under Christ Wood, CHRISTWOOD, because I am the life tree. Risen waters, sun, fire, sun, life, blood, breath, light is me. Thank you, brother, for your support. I appreciate that more than you know. Whereabouts is everybody from? And I would also like some input from my viewers, whatever, subscribers, as to some possible new content that you would like to see me do as well. What I am doing here is very, very, very serious. It is very important. It is life and death, as a matter of fact. And but in the meantime, I would also like to do some other stuff as well that would be enjoyable for everybody. And I have some ideas, but I would also some possible input too from my subscribers as well. Something that you'd possibly enjoy. Boston, Massachusetts, that is awesome. I am in Lennox and Addington, Ontario, Lennox and Addington, Napanee, Ontario, Canada. And you're in Boston. I'm actually not too far from where you are. You're only a few hours away from me. So maybe 5 hours at the most, 4 or 5 hours. I have friends here that actually go from here to down to Boston. That would be a surprise. That's another thing from me having this shit used on me. It's also doing serious damage to my teeth as well. It has rotted my teeth out like nobody's business. I'm beginning to look like a crackhead or a drug addict, and like I said, I'm more than free to be tested. I do not do drugs. I am against them. I've lost too many friends and family from it. And myself, back in 1998, I was doing them and I overdosed from what was called Dilaudid, which is pretty much a synthetic heroin. And I woke up, I pretty much died, and I woke up. That was my wake up call. That was back in 2012. And I'm glad it happened because I've been good since. That's true. I gotta learn that too, and I will remember it. It's just the thing is, I realize that, and I know that my outer appearance does not dictate what's in my heart. At the same time, because of me going through these changes and my identity theft and proving it, I am also the last of my bloodline as well. So maybe it's ego trying to hold on to my dad, possibly my bloodline by my image. I don't know. I really don't know. Especially, sorry, my arm's going numb. Nothing serious. And actually the one that's doing this to me, he is highly psychotic. He's delusional. He thinks that we were switched at birth, and he also thinks that he is my dad. How can we be switched at birth and he be my dad at the same time? Makes absolutely no sense to me. But he also thinks that he's Harry Potter as well. And he is allegedly also Hells Angels Ontario chapter captain as well, along with another Blair Hardy who is involved, who is allegedly Bandido's MC motorcycle club involved, along with the police. There is serious drug trafficking here as well. They are involved with lacing drugs and selling them to addicts for the purpose of committing murder to make it look like it was just another drug addict getting bad drugs and ended up overdosing and dying from them. Meanwhile, it's being done with intent to make it look that way. The one guy responsible, Blair Hardy, he is also responsible for raping, an attempted rape on a woman here in my building, actually. It happened. And now this woman, after the fact, is now dead from lace drugs from fentanyl, had an overdose. Coincidence? I don't know. There was also another guy here. There's one involved with this. His name is Jason VANALSTINE. He was also involved with, he was with another guy that also conveniently died as well. He was with them 2 days prior. So, and the guy, he was either involved or he knows what had happened. For such a small town, there is a lot of serious, dangerous criminals here. He's not a good person. Not in any way, shape, or form. Every single one of them need to be arrested and charged. I have video. I have a video on my channel where I went to the police station to try to get arrest done. And I was actually surrounded by a bunch of cops with their hands on their guns to prevent it from me getting anything legal on them or doing anything legal against them or anybody else that's involved with this. And then me being kidnapped once again. And that happened in 2021. And then I was falsely charged for harassment for phoning patient relations here at the local hospital and telling them what was taking place with the crimes by the doctors and what needed to be done, how they were criminals, how they needed to be arrested and charged, and as a result, they took it upon themselves in an attempt to do it to me to come up with this harassment shit in an attempt to stop me from doing it. I've been doing it everywhere. Even the local radio stations here are aware of what has taken place as well, and they banned me from doing anything. No freedom of speech. Anyway, I think I should actually wrap this up. I am going to attempt. It's raining here pretty heavy and it's looked like it's slowed down, so I'm going to attempt to take my dog out to do his business and before it starts to pour again, because yeah, even here we're getting the back end of the hurricane that's going through. So, and we're getting a lot of serious rain as well. I am going to expose every single one. I have been exposing every single one. Whom, how, and why this is happening to me. And also at the same time, there's going to be an attempt to turn it around back on me too because of the time bot. And I am very, very well aware of this. I have a video I done the other day. I phoned the police station to get badge numbers of the police and got 100% obstruction. It was one excuse after another. So I've filed private prosecutions for arrest and charging. I even had a justice of the peace accuse me of being high on marijuana and hallucinating being sodomized. So this is so they also have a lot of people to aid and cover up for them as well, along with the other police here, the doctors they have, and like I said, the justice of the peace. And if you're poor, if you're homeless, if you're disabled, or even native because they are racist garbage, and you don't have the money and they know it, you're screwed from the crimes that they are committing and have committed against people. And one way or another, I will see every single one involved in jail, in handcuffs, one way or another. It will come. whether they think so or not, because the ones involved have been working with them for the police for so long and getting away with so much, they actually believe, I believe, that they think they're untouchable. I've actually had so much damage done to my skull, I probably have lost maybe 3 inches off of my skull alone. So, and from the radiation and the EMFs in me all the time, constantly, is also what's burning the inside of my skull and also helping to form it. My skull's been split straight down the middle. I have a video showing it. It's like a minute and 40-second video, and you can clearly see my skull split in every single, like, it's bad. And you can see where it's been split and separated. And I was actually went to the hospital to get help with that after I was actually finally able to, because for 9 months I was kept from getting medical help. So when I was able to actually get medical help, I went to the hospital to show them a video, and nobody was even interested in it. No interest whatsoever that had happened to me. I went to the hospital at one time and I had a doctor, my head was swelled up like a mushroom, and I had a doctor actually tell me that I needed a head shrink, pun intended. This is a game on me being played, 100% a game being played on me through the police and through their inmate sex offending little pieces of garbage that are aiding in them and are untouchable. When O.P.P, when the police are actually human trafficking and buying and selling people like products, like they own them, and getting away with it, using this dangerous tech that a lot of people are not aware of. And like I said, it has been in use and existence since the 60s. So it's not new, especially when people start hearing nano, microchip, or implants. They automatically assume conspiracy. They automatically assume crazy. They automatically assume whatever. But I can very well 100% prove my words and how it operates, even. And it can be done as well through Wi-Fi, cell phone, and computer. It enables these pieces of garbage to watch me and see everything that I hear and see 24/7. I even have them watching me and sleeping when I'm sleeping. They see me as I'm doing this right now. I am being broadcasted through from it. And yes, for people that do not realize this, I do very well realize how crazy it might sound to some. Especially when you're talking about being broadcasted through from other people. Like, what the fuck? I do realize it sounds crazy, but it's very 100% possible. And it acts pretty much like a hologram. And this is how, when I am being broadcasted through, how I'm having my identity changes show up on me. I hearing sirens. Cops must be going to do a drug run or a money drop off, because they certainly don't I would advise anybody who actually sees this in Napanee, if you've had any dealings with Lennox and Annington Provincial Police, to seriously fight it. Fight it every way, shape, and form, because they are seriously organized criminals. They are corrupt, and they are guilty of very serious crimes. And I can 100% prove every single bit of it, and I have been. I have 3 years plus of video just to prove everything against me when the time comes. I may even have to go to the point of having my own father exhumed to prove DNA because of what I have been going through. And when this started to happen to me in the beginning, I took measures to preserve my DNA for just such a thing. So, if need be, I am more than willing to do that. Not that I want to, but I am more than willing to do that, especially when my own father committed suicide in front of me. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here, and this has been a long, well, an hour. Time went quick. Well, it's been long, but it also went quick. Oxymoron. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good night. I hope everybody has a good weekend, and I hope everybody stays safe. And love all, hate none.